How to invest in US stock market from India. So before we start that, let's understand what are the US stock market indexes. So the first one is the Dow Jones Industrial Average, or Dow Jones. It's an index of 30 blue chip US companies, which is similar to India's BSC Sensex. Second is the Standard and Poor's 500, or S&P 500. It is an index of 500 largest US companies, most commonly followed index to invest in US stock market. Lot of people only invest in S&P 500 as it covers 80% of total US market capitalization, which is around $43 trillion. For comparison, India's total market capitalization is around $5.1 trillion. So it is 8 times bigger than overall India's market. It is similar to Nifty 500. The third one is Nasdaq 100, an index of 100 largest technology and growth companies, which are mainly non-financial growth companies. And the last one is Russell 2000. This index tracks the performance of 2000 smaller US companies, similar to small cap companies of India. There are other indexes as well, but these 4 indexes are largely followed by most of the people in the world, as well as mainly in the United States. Let's see how the stock markets are performing since last 3 months. As of 7th of April, you can see that Dow Jones is down almost 13%, S&P 500 is down more than 16%, and Nasdaq is down more than 22%. However, if you see for the bigger picture and compare this data against last 10 years, so the total returns of Dow Jones is around 11% CAGR, S&P 500 has delivered 14%, and Nasdaq has delivered 21.23% over the 10 years. In this slide, you can see that how volatile the market is. On 9th of April, most of these indexes have gone up by 7 to 12%. Now let's discuss how you can invest in US stock market from India. There are total 4 different options that you can consider. We will mainly focus on the exchange traded fund rather than mutual funds. So the first one is Motilal Oswal Nasdaq 100 ETF. The ticker is MON100. It tracks top 100 non-financial US companies of the Nasdaq. Its total expense ratio is 0.58% and unit price is around 175 rupees. It was on 7th of April around 163 rupees. It came around 170, 175. So if you want to invest into the Nasdaq 100 from India, covering all the large US technology companies or growth companies, which has delivered around 20% or more than 20% annually, then this is the best index to invest from the India. It costs around 0.58%. The second one is Mirae Asset S&P 500 Top 50 ETF. So this ETF is investing into the top 50 US companies of S&P 500. Its ticker is MAS PTOP 50. Total expense ratio is 0.58%. Unit price is around 45 rupees. So this is another ETF that you can consider and invest into the top 50 of the US companies. Third one is Motilal Oswal Nasdaq Quality 50 ETF, MON Q50, which invest into the 50 companies that are listed into Nasdaq 100. Total expense ratio is 0.47% and unit price is around 70 rupees. Fourth one, and it is very concentrated one, it is Mirae Assets NYSE FANG Plus ETF. Ticker is MAFANG. So top 10 technology companies, total expense ratio is 0.63%. Unit price is around 114 rupees. Risk reward ratio is really high for this one because it is a very concentrated and only invest into the top 10 companies, or mainly 10 companies of the Nasdaq. As all these ETFs are down more than 20% in the last 3 months, you can consider them for the long-term investment and to diversify your portfolio with the global stocks.